How are we doing, everybody? It's Sunday, yet again. It is Sunday, once more. Oh man, what a week. What a fucking week, eh? Goddamn insane. Um, I don't have much to say. I don't have much to catch you guys up on. It's just been a normal day here. My computer's still in the shop, so we're making do with what we got. And yeah, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Let's get into what we're watching today. We're going to start off with a little bit of news about Minnesota. And then I've got uh Candace's stream from a few days ago about the TPUSA people being fired. I don't know, it's a thing. And I also have the Jasmine Crockett and James Tellerico debate. I was curious to see how that went. Curious to see how Jasmine Crockett performed. Low expectations, but we'll see. Then my governor said some shit, and a couple other things. So, we'll see what we get through tonight. I don't know how long the stream will be. I wasn't really feeling like streaming tonight. I'm working on a video, and I was mostly just kind of typing away at that. But I said I'd stream Sundays. That was like my one of my goals for the year. So trying to stick to it. Trying to stick to it. Theo Vaughn had Bernie Sanders on. Okay. Is it like a bad take if I say I'm not a fan of Theo Vaughn? I feel like people really like him, and I just kind of I don't know. He kind of does the dumb guy act too much for me. Like he could just be that dumb, but like I don't think he's that dumb. I don't know. Let's just get into it. Um oh, before we do actually. We've got some bangers here. Shout out to Connor Eats Pants. Once again, doing the Lord's work. Let me make sure I switch this over. Here we go. Once again, doing the Lord's work. Stephen Miller. The purpose of the rhetoric is to incite attacks on ICE. Connor, your Goebbels impression is just sad, Stephen. Be a man for once in your life and just go full method. Katie Miller too. Cyanide can't be hard to find in your circle. Love from Mexico City. I'm sorry. These are just and then this just bitch at JD Vance. Like he is haunting JD Vance's fucking nightmares. I just know it. I just know it because JD Vance is terminally online. He is online all the goddamn time. He sees every one of these fucking tweets, man. Don't tell me he doesn't. He sees every goddamn one. And I just know it's eating him alive. Because he's such a loser. Also, I had a bit of a hot take. Hold on. Let me follow me on Twitter, guys. Did I tweet it? I think I tweeted it. I did, yeah, cool. Follow me on Twitter. If you haven't, you should follow me on Twitter. Uh AOC. AOC. Okay, my controversial opinion about AOC is that uh she has the same chronically online energy as JD Vance. And that's like not to say that she's like JD Vance at all because they are obviously two very different people. But she do be tweeting. She do be tweeting. And sometimes it's like, girl, just log off. Just log off. Just put the phone down. Hand it to your aide. I don't know, do something. But it's time to log off. Yeah, anyway, I just wanted to look at that. Okay. See, we've got Tim Walz here with his press conference. We will take a look at that. I suspect that this is going to be annoying. I have found myself very displeased with Walz and his approach lately, or in general, I guess. I don't know. I didn't necessarily have the highest expectations for him, but they weren't in the gutter like some of these other politicians, I guess. And he has still managed to fail on that level. So that's dope. That's cool. It happens. It happens. Let's just go. Let's just see what he's got to say. I'll give him a chance. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Give him a moment to wow me. What do you got for me, Timmy?
Thank you all for being here. I'll have a short statement, then I'll turn it over to Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson to update the situation, joined here by Hennepin County Sheriff Witt, State Patrol Colonel, and General Menke, the Adjutant General of the Minnesota National Guard. Well, as I said last week, this federal occupation of Minnesota long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. It's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of our state. And today that campaign claimed another life. I've seen the videos from several angles, and it's sickening. But I have a strong statement here for our federal government. Minnesota's justice system will have the last word on this. It must have the last word. As I told the White House in no uncertain terms this morning, the federal government cannot be trusted to lead this investigation. The state will handle it, period. Let me say something else, and this is critically important. All of us understand.
Okay, that's cool, but like, what are you doing to actually ensure that that's the case? Because as far as I know, those guys were allowed to dip out of the state. Like they've been assigned to places out of the state at this point. Like they keep their jobs and they're just no longer in the state, working in Minnesota. So, what did you do to make sure that your law enforcement was handling the case? See, I don't like the words. The words aren't matching the actions, man. Hot take? I don't know. I don't think that's a hot take. I think a lot of people feel that way, actually. Um, I think a fair amount of people feel that way about Tim Walz at this point. He has definitely dropped the ball in a lot of different ways, and it's just unfortunate because everyone wants to avoid a conflict, and I understand no one wants fucking like pandemonium and war in the goddamn streets of Minneapolis. But there's really only a couple ways this ends as far as I'm concerned. And if the people get to a point where it's like, oh, hey, we don't really think the state or the local law enforcement is doing what they need to do to protect us, then I suspect people are going to take matters into their own hands and protect themselves, which I personally don't have a problem with, but that is also going to be very chaotic and disastrous for pretty much everybody. And I don't really want that either. So the option here is for, Tim Walz to perhaps use the National Guard to back up the local police and do the things he needs to do. And, take a stand against ICE and the fucking federal government. But, 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 that's not gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. Right now, they've got the they got the National Guard giving out donuts, I think, which is all right, cool, I guess. I just no fight, no fight. No one has any fight. No one has any fight. Everyone wants to keep the peace. The peace is fucked. The peace has been fucked already. Like, look around you. People are getting shot in the street. What do you mean keep the peace? Like, either citizens keep dying or you have the police step in and do their fucking jobs and arrest people who are assaulting your fucking constituents. In this case, the federal fucking agents. Wow, crazy concept. Who would have thought? Just an idea, just a suggestion, Tim. Maybe you should take that into consideration or something. I don't know. Give it a shot. Think it through. Oh, fuck me. Like, look, my hot, spicy take, my hottest of takes, is that I think in a just world, the residents of Minneapolis in this scenario would be able to make a request of the police, of the local law enforcement, to protect them from the federal government and ICE agents. And should they decide not to do that, they get to make another request in which the police turn over their goddamn taxpayer funded arms, their vehicles, their fun little toys that they use for crowd control and all that bullshit, and let the people defend themselves. Fuck it. Like, fuck it. At this point, fuck it. If you're not going to do your goddamn job, then give over the shit that the taxpayers bought you and let them do it themselves. Again, that would be chaotic. That would be disastrous. The average person is probably, even less trained than the average cop, which is not very trained to begin with. But fuck it. Fuck it. And even in my perfect world, even just that simple fucking request would be enough to light a goddamn fire under Tim Walz and under the fucking police That'd be enough. That would be enough. That would be enough for them to be like, oh shit, maybe we should, I don't know, do something because these people are getting real fed up. And yet here we are. Fuck. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you do when there has to be enough. There has to be something that is enough to wake people up to the situation that is in front of us. And if it's not a white male veteran who is a ICU nurse and a lawful legal carrier, then I don't know what the fuck it's gonna take. Like, I genuinely don't know. Like, my whole goddamn life, I thought that this would be it, you know? Like, this, like, usually when fucking. I mean, I thought Renee Good would be enough for most of these people, you know? White woman, mom, you know? But I do think that the hatred of white women and women specifically has gotten so bad that, like, in a way, white women have lost their, like, prestige status almost. Like, they've lost, like, their, like, untouchable status. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of nutty. Never thought I'd see it in my lifetime, but ooh, y'all kind of fell off. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But like, it's just kind of, it's just, it's crazy. But no, if this isn't enough, then I don't know what will. I don't know what it'll take. I don't know what it will take, but we might be fucked. We might be fucked if people don't come to their goddamn senses. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Rant over. I've been thinking about that all day, and I just seeing Tim Walz up here. He's gonna start talking about keeping the peace eventually, I'm sure. And I just brother, come on, dude, keep the peace. Like, they're killing people. What do you mean, keep the peace? Like, it's life or death at this point. What do you mean, keep the peace? And like, people will be like, "Oh, you've got to stop with the radical language. You're making the situation worse." Like, what is more like, what do you mean? Like, what is this not a life or death situation at this point? Like, are people not being killed? Are we not seeing people being killed? What do you mean radical? Like, I'm just looking at what is in front of me and presenting the truth, you know? Like, I'm just stating the facts. People are dying at the hands of ICE, and you're like, cut the, you're being too radical, you're being too extreme. Like, oh, okay. Cool, man. Awesome. A whole lot of supposed free thinkers out here just saying whatever the fucking Trump administration wants is what is what they get. Like, it's cool. We'll do whatever they want. A bunch of people who are supposedly like, "Oh, don't tread on me." Like, are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here. You're a goddamn joke. I'm sorry. You're a goddamn joke. You're a goddamn joke. All right, let's continue.
Understand what happened this morning and the tragedy of it, and my deepest sympathies to the family of a 37-year-old Minnesota resident, a lawful firearm concealed permit carrier, something that I've been lectured to by Republicans for decades, that is not only your right, it's your duty. We know that the potential to further inflame tensions is high, and to Minnesotans, there's a difference. We want calm and peace and normalcy back to our lives. They want chaos. We cannot and we will not give them what they want by meeting violence with violence. Minnesota and our local law enforcement, as you have seen, have done everything possible to de-escalate. Local media has reported extensively on the cooperation to de-escalate this situation. Donald Trump, I call on you once again. Remove this force from Minnesota. They are sowing chaos.
Okay, what if he doesn't? What if he doesn't? What if he doesn't? You gotta start preparing for the worst case scenario, dude. Like, I don't understand this mindset of Donald Trump will finally hear reason. He'll finally hear our pleas. Are you shitting me? Like, I do think that he didn't go as crazy as he did with Renee Good with this one. I didn't hear any like crazy immediate statements from him, and then uh from what I hear, he's been a little bit reluctant to call this out as such a clear case of the ICE officer was in the right. Perhaps even he sees the writing on the wall with this one. I don't know. But that's where we're at, dude. Like, this man did nothing to warrant what happened to him. And they are trying to claim that him having a gun on him means that he had the intent to kill ICE officers just by being there with a gun. If you're a gun owner, if you're someone who stands by the Second Amendment, that should be very concerning to you. That should raise alarm bells across the board. Just being in the vicinity of an ICE agent with a gun is enough for them to consider you a threat and kill you. That's insane. That's crazy. That is 100% ridiculous and should not be accepted or allowed in any way, shape, or form. And yet here we are. So I don't fucking know. Like, this one has been hard for people who are usually really pushing this shit. Like, God, you've got even people like Asmongold who's struggling to sell this one. I took a look at his Reddit yesterday. It was an interesting time. They were having a real hard time grasping this one. Their theory is that when the officer took the gun off of Alex, it discharged accidentally, and that scared the officer into firing at him. That's their theory. I'm not sure that's what happened. um my personal theory is these guys are fucking idiots and untrained and suck at their jobs and don't know how to act in chaotic situations, and so they fucking get all fucking high like energy and like high like stressed up and bullshit, and they act in ways they shouldn't, and it's fucking ridiculous. Like this isn't like, if you can't keep your cool in a goddamn situation like that, then you shouldn't be there. You shouldn't have this fucking job or position. And you're supposed to be the authority figure in this situation, and you're acting like a belligerent bully. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, I think that dude fucking freaked out when he heard someone say gun and ended up shooting him. And it's so ridiculous because that's like that like that shouldn't be your fucking it's so infuriating. It's so fucking infuriating. And then Tim Walz is going to get up here and say, keep the peace. You know, we're gonna keep the peace, and Donald Trump is gonna appeal to is gonna hear my appeal to reason, and he's gonna take these guys out of Minneapolis. And it's just okay, but what if he doesn't? Are you prepared to do what you need to do if he doesn't? Because I don't think you are. And that concerns me.
And violence. We've seen deadly violence from federal agents again and again and again. But in contrast to that, on these frozen streets, what you witnessed yesterday was the best of Minnesotans, peacefully exercising their First Amendment rights. And I attended in the church basement hundreds of Minnesotans from all faith packing care packages for families that have been ripped apart. Despite the horrific acts by this federal government, Minnesotans are standing up for the rule of law. They're protesting loudly and urgently, but peacefully. It must stay that way, Minnesota. Minnesotans are witnessing, and we're creating a log of evidence for the future prosecution of ICE agents and officials responsible for this. They're helping their neighbors, they're walking their kids to school, they're feeding families. I salute their courage and their restraint, and I call on all Americans to see the decency that this state is exhibiting and the horrific cruelty, unprofessional, absolute abomination that is passing for what these ICE agents are doing on our streets. They think they can provoke us into abandoning our values. Well, they're dead wrong. We'll keep the peace, we'll secure the justice with our neighbors, and we'll see this occupation ends. Minnesotans and Minnesota law enforcement that continuously is being denigrated by this administration will continue to be the adults in the room, the professionals in the room, the decent human beings in the room that will keep the peace. With this, I'd like to turn it over to Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson to update you on the situation as we know it.
Okay. I mostly just wanted to hear Wallace talk, and this is from like a day ago, so we don't really need to hear too much of this. The new, I mean, the news has been well covered at this point. See some of the comments. Thank God we have video. Indeed, to all you who have documented intense situations, you have my deepest appreciation and respect. One ICE agent stood away while the victim was lying on his back, not moving, and he continued to fire many shots into him. So tell me that's not brutal murder and a deranged agent with hate. The other reason I think this was such a incident of like this guy being in like this like hyper kind of like state and like hitting like the panic button is because he fired at Alex when he was still when all these other officers were still around him. Like he didn't even consider the safety of the other officers in that regard. So to me that says that he was in such a fucking state that he had even been like, no, fuck, like, everyone. Like, I'm just going to shoot this man. Like, I don't even give a fuck about my other officers. Like, that's insane. Like, that's insane. Because usually they're like, at least they give a fuck about, you know, their brothers in arms or whatever. God damn. He did do I don't know, is this a different one? I'm not sure. I think this is the same one. No. Wait.
So let me, and therefore, Minnesotans, you've won the hearts and minds of people across this country. Or the side
What do you have to say?
confidential.
I don't know where it starts. Hold on.
Today I'm joined by Attorney General Ellison, Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson, Minnesota Department of Corrections Commissioner Paul Snell. Thanks everybody for joining us again. We're now about 24 hours from the killing of Alex.
Yeah, this is a different one.
And
We'll
during
listen
that
to this.
time of everything that's happened, I hope everyone's taking away a picture of a life of generosity, service-oriented, and his life's coming into clearer focus. I had the privilege of talking.
Can you tell I'm in a fuck Tim Walz mood? I feel a little bit bad. He's just getting a lot of my ire today. It's not just him. It's also the mayor. It's I mean, this whole situation in general, but he really does just kind of irk me right now. It's more than just this situation that I have issue with Tim Walz. Um I had, a little bit of hope for him at one point, and he's just completely decimated any goodwill or real just anything that he had at one point. So I'm going a little hard on him, but that's why. That's why it bothers me. He bothers me. He bothers me. He's upset my soul. Like, it's one thing if I don't like you, but it's another thing if I kind of liked you a little bit and then you fucked it up, you know? Like, there's another politician right now who I'm like, not someone who like, there are ones that are like, there aren't really any politicians that I like let's make that clear. Except for maybe like, um hmm hmm oh, I don't wait, never, no, I don't know. Summer Lee, I like Summer Lee. I like Zoran, sorta, most days. Yeah, we'll go with those two. Um, there's another one, but I'm not gonna say it because I feel like I'm gonna jinx it. So I'm gonna keep that one secret for now. Uh, but other than that, that's really it. And Jim Walls, I had like an ounce of hope for him at one point, and now it's gone. So for shame. It's one thing if I didn't fuck with you, but it's another thing if I, did, and then now I don't. It's like now you've betrayed me. You've betrayed my trust. I thought what we had was special. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh man.
Talking with Michael and Susan, Alex's parents, yesterday, and the heartache in the hours after your son's murdered in front of the world is one thing, but what stood out to me was a parent's desire and their passion to make sure that the story of Alex was told. Someone who went to work to care for veterans, someone who was a valued coworker, someone who relished and lived in this state in a big way, whether it was outdoor activities or being down there on the street as a First Amendment witness to what ICE is doing to this state. So once again, to Michael and Susan, when I talk to these parents, it's always in deep confidential conversation. In this one, though, Michael was very clear to me. He said, don't let them forget Alex's story. The world knows how he died. He died at the hands of ICE agents on the streets of Minneapolis. They want us to make sure we said how he lived. So to Michael and Susan, our deepest sympathies, but you have my commitment to continue to tell that story. So now we've got two Minnesotans dead. We didn't had time to start telling Renee's story of a poet and a mother and a bright spirit, and now we're telling Alex's story. So my question is, what's the plan, Donald Trump? What is the plan? What do we need to do to get these federal agents out of our state? You thought fear, violence, and chaos is what you wanted from us, and you clearly underestimated the people of this state and nation. We are tired, but we're resolved. We're peaceful, but we'll never forget. We're angry, but we won't give up hope. And above all else, we are clearly unified. If it was the intention of Donald Trump to make an example of Minnesota, then I'm damn proud of the example that the world's seeing. We believe in law and order in this state. We believe in peace. And we believe that Donald Trump needs to pull these 3,000 untrained agents out of Minnesota before they kill another person. And we're up here telling another story of a Minnesotan just trying to live their life without the interference. To Americans who are watching this,
Brother, there are steps you can take to make sure that does not happen. And you are choosing not to do so. What are we doing, Tim? Before we are up here telling another story, like, well, why does somebody else have to die? Why does another Minnesotan have to die? Tim, you have the National Guard, my man. You have the local police force, my guy. You have options, my dude. Consider them. Use them. What are you doing?
right now. And I don't know. Maybe you're watching it with curiosity, bewilderment, horror, scorn, or sympathy. I've got a question for all of you. What side do you want to be on? The side of an all-powerful federal government that can kill, injure, menace, and kidnap its citizens off the streets? Or on the side of a nurse at the VA hospital who died bearing witness to such government? Or the side of a mother whose last words were, "I'm not mad at you"? The side of tens of thousands of peaceful citizens who showed up to march when the wind chill was 40 below because they love this state and they love this country. You're allowed to decide at any point that you're not with this anymore. If you voted for this administration, heck, even if you thought Operation Metro Surge was a good idea, sounded like the thing to do a month ago, you're still allowed to look at what's happening here in Minnesota and say, this isn't what I voted for and this isn't what I want. I ask you not to stand by idly. Speak out, share what you're seeing, and urge others to put politics aside. We're no longer having a political debate, we're having a moral debate. We all want secure borders and immigration enforcement that prioritizes criminals. And I want to thank the press, especially the local press, who has done a deep dive to show that's exactly what Minnesota does. But what you're seeing is not common sense, lawful, or humane enforcement. That's not what this occupation is about. Let me say, our conversation should not be about, and I know we get asked of what we're doing on there, how many state patrol or police or National Guard I can put on the street. This isn't about how many people I can put on the street. It's about how many of these people, these ICE agents and whoever else was thrown into this unholy mess, how many Donald Trump can get out of here. Minnesotans.
Oh my fucking God, dude. And if he doesn't take them out of there, then what is it about? If Donald Trump does not take out the ICE agents, does not pull the ICE agents out of Minnesota, out of Minneapolis, continues to let them run rampant through the streets, then what is it about, Tim? Is it about how many people you can put in the streets at that point? Like, again, I don't fucking want war in the streets of Minneapolis. Like, I don't want that. But at some point, something's gonna give. And if that's going to be... And I'd rather have the people who are equipped to fight back doing the fighting in the streets if it's going to get to that point. I'd rather have the local law enforcement and the National Guard take on that role than the citizens. I'd rather have them put their bodies on the line to put a stop to this than have the citizens have to do that. I'm sorry if that's a controversial opinion, but that's how I feel. So I just think that Tim Walz needs to consider the option where they don't pull out of your state. They don't leave. You can sit up here and say, "Hey man, get out," all you want, but until Trump says, "All right, we're done here," shit's going to keep getting worse. So like what's it going to take? Is it going to take a full-on riot? Like is it cuz it got really spicy um after they killed Alex Preddy. Like it was looking a little rough there. I was like, are we going to have a full on riot situation? Like, is this where this is heading? It ended up calming down, but I mean, I would not have been surprised. Like you gotta pick a lane. You gotta make a decision, and you can keep trying to appeal to Trump's logical side all you want, but good luck with that. God damn. Like, do you know what we are dealing with here? Do you know where we are? Do you know who we are looking at? Like, what are you doing? What are you fucking doing?
You've won the hearts and minds of people across this country, and you've done it through your peaceful, resolved defense of your neighbors and the Constitution. So once again, Minnesotans, stay peaceful, stay safe. Change is coming, and we can feel it. But this fight still goes on. And I'm just glad today to be joined in person because it's someone who's been at the side of Minnesotans throughout this and through every other thing we've gone through over the last 7 years. Someone who we describe as the people's lawyer, someone who is fighting this battle for the Constitution, for the safety of Minnesotans in courts every single day. I want to give this over to Attorney General Keith Ellison to talk a little bit about what's going on with the state on some of the lawsuits and what our expectations are in the coming days. Attorney General.
Thank you, Governor. Governor Walz, thank you for your excellent leadership during this very, very difficult time. This unprecedented time, Governor, because quite honestly, there's never been a deployment of immigration agents this size in the history of the United States. There have been times in American history where they've deported a lot of people, but a concentrated deployment of ICE agents in one state in one period of time is unprecedented. And therefore, there's no playbook. And therefore, nobody knows exactly how to deal with this situation, but it is unique and particularly puzzling given that Minnesota does not have the highest immigration in the United States, given that Minnesota has a very, very professional community of law enforcement professionals who are taking care of the safety of our state, given the fact that the Department of Corrections, pursuant to state law, hands over people who ICE is looking for and they have proper paperwork for. Given all of that, this is a very curious situation and would reasonably lead someone to ask why. So let me talk about Alex Preddy. Alex Preddy was a nurse at the VA. I happen to have a son who's 31 years old who spent 5 years in the United States military as a combat medic. But toward the end of his deployment and the end of his service, he wanted to go into nursing, and so he did. And ended up getting an RN degree and works in the healthcare system here in Minnesota. And when he was at work today and last night, he said, look, my colleagues were crying and in tears, and they took this hit to one of their own very personally. And he said, I did too. He said, I didn't find myself shedding tears, but I could have, because I just was brokenhearted because I know the service that he and the love and compassion he puts into taking care of the people he took care of at the VA. So, an intensive care nurse, kind, compassionate person to friend and family, described by coworkers as the first person who would jump in to help. And he was our neighbor, and he should still be with us right now. So let me just note that Superintendent Drew Evans of the BCA, another exemplary professional in our state, he is the BCA is the state's investigative agency, and it is their job to investigate crime. They have a specialized unit to investigate the use of force cases. They arrived on site after the shooting and were refused access. They then secured a judicial warrant, a warrant signed by a judge, which has never been needed before, and were still refused access. This is uncharted territory. Now, friends, this comes.
Like, I'm going to tell you my issue with this. If anybody else in this goddamn country had done that, if the police had shown up at their door with a warrant to search their home and they had not let them in, the police would have broken down their fucking door. And yet, when ICE does it, they just walk away. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? If anybody else in this fucking country had done that, they would be possibly dead. Like, they would possibly be dead in a shootout. Because that is most likely what the situation would devolve into. And yet, when it's ICE, they're just like, shucks, I guess we gotta go. I guess we gotta leave. I guess we can't do this today. Like, are you're kidding me, right? You're kidding. You are joking. It's a joke. It's a gag. It's a goof. You're pulling a fast one on me. 'Cause this cannot be real. This cannot be reality. We cannot be doing this right now. People have gotten shot for less. People have had their doors broken down for less. If someone showed up with a fucking warrant to enter their home and they said no, they say, oh well, fuck you, we're going in anyways. And that's exactly what they should have done to ICE. I don't care. I don't care if it would have possibly resolved in a shootout. I don't think it would have. Because I honestly don't think ICE is firing on uniformed officers. I could be wrong. I'm willing to take that bet. I think these guys should be too.
At the tail end of other offenses, like a shooting in North Minneapolis and another homicide in South Minneapolis, Renee Nicole Good, where they also were denied access to the scene, and investigators are, to this moment, still being denied access to the investigative file. This is not a rash decision for us to go to court and to seek a temporary restraining order from a judge to preserve evidence and prevent the destruction of evidence. I don't care if you're conservative, liberal, or whatever, but you should at least be in favor of conserving evidence in a homicide. And to have to go get an order from a judge to preserve that evidence is extraordinary and should alarm everyone who believes in equal justice under the law and who believes that every person, no matter how this case ultimately is resolved, deserves to have their case investigated to get to the truth of what happened. This is an extraordinary moment in an unprecedented time, and we're doing all we can to step up to that moment. My office represents the BCA, and and joined the Hennepin County Attorney's Office in a lawsuit last night, as you know, and we moved to prevent the destruction and or tampering with evidence related to Alex Preddy's shooting. And this includes any evidence the federal agents took from the scene of the shooting, preventing the state authorities from inspecting it. We've never had to do anything like this before. Never before. We filed that motion last night and for a temporary restraining order asking the court to take immediate action to preserve the evidence. And last night, within 2 hours of the filing, a judge granted the motion. The Department of Homeland Security and the federal government are now enjoined from destroying or altering evidence related to yesterday's shooting. The fact that anyone would ever think that an agent of the federal government might even think about doing such a thing was completely unforeseeable only a few weeks ago. But now, this is what we have to do. As we said in our filing last night, the irreparable harm we would suffer if the federal government were allowed to destroy evidence is so weighty that any harm to the federal government does not even budge the scales in a court balancing of the scales. It's imperative that we preserve as much evidence as possible so that the state investigators are allowed to access the evidence to ensure a fair, thorough investigation. And I will say, I've heard not one single law enforcement or investigative agent in the state of Minnesota say that they won't share information with the federal government. I've heard quite the opposite from the federal government. Now, Operation Metro Surge. As I noted when I started, this appears to be the largest single deployment or surge of immigration agents in the history of the country. And as a result, tremendous damage has been inflicted upon our state. We've had 2 killings within 2 weeks in an additional non-lethal shooting. We've had countless numbers of people who have been stopped and had the demand for their papers, to have to show their papers in America. We've had door-to-door knocks where people have their homes barged into without cause of right. And we've had stores have to shutter, students not going to school. We've had reduction in employees going to their job sites. We've had jobs being little.
Like, you have these guys wreaking such havoc on your community, and you're still just sitting here like, please, Donald Trump, won't you pull out the ICE agents from our cities? Please, won't you have a heart? Like, come on. Dude. Like, it's past that point. It's past that point. It's so past that point. They are killing your citizens in the fucking streets. They are ripping families apart. They are kidnapping children. I don't know. Like, I just, like, at what point do you say, maybe we should do something? Like, they are disrupting the very lives of your constituents. Do something. Anything. Please. God, it's so frustrating. And again, if anybody else behaved like this, if anybody else in the country acted like this, they would be killed. They would be killed. Like, they would be shot and killed in the street. If anybody else in this country did this shit, it would be over. It would be lights out in like 5 minutes. If anybody else in this country denied a warrant, someone with a warrant coming into their place to investigate a crime scene, they would break down the door. Like, they would just enter. They would just say, fuck you, we're coming in anyways. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. grow some fucking balls and do what needs to be done. What? How long? How many people? How many people need to be killed? How many people do you need to see executed in your streets before you decide to take action? Like 5, 10? Like, what is it? Because I think it shouldn't be that many, if I'm being honest with you. It shouldn't really be any, but we're past that point. And I don't think it should be 3. I mean, we're kind of already past that point, too. So, god damn. Like, I get it. We gotta be peaceful. We gotta keep the peace, blah, blah, blah. But, like, is the peace being kept? Is the peace being kept? I think the peace has already been broken. And it wasn't the citizens or the local law enforcement that did it. It was ICE. So now what? Do we still keep the peace when they're breaking the peace? There's gotta be a way here. I don't know, man.
Markets being shut down, restaurants being interfered with. We've had a countless number of harms. And so we took the action of suing the federal government over Operation Metro Surge. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to be in federal court with my team arguing for a restraining order against Operation Metro Surge. I filed this case almost 2 weeks ago, and this will be our...
We're suing the government. No, that's sick. That's awesome. That's great. No, that's cool. That's so cool. That's so cool. That's so awesome. I love that you're doing that, man. I wish you would sue them harder. Sue them harder, bro. Sue them even fucking harder. Oh my god. Oh my god. No. No, it's great. Law and Order. Yeah. Yep. I love it. I do. I love it. No. Again, I don't want fucking war in the streets of Minneapolis. I think we're gonna get there either way at this point. Like, you gotta do something. Either it is the officers who are facing the ICE agents, or it is the citizens. And I think it should be the armed officers and National Guard. Hot take, sorry, but I do think it should be you guys who do the fucking, fighting here, if that is what it comes to. Or at the very least, should be the ones taking a stance on the front line because you have the weapons, unless you're going to turn over the taxpayer-funded weapons to the taxpayers and allow them to do it themselves, which is, even more chaotic. But, fuck it at this point. Fuck it. Why not? Well, let's have fun. Let's say fuck it. Let's just have a full-on riot, bro. Full-on armed riot of the fucking citizens of Minneapolis. Goddamn, why not? Who gives a fuck anymore?
First hearing. The lawsuit we filed is one that is caused by the unprecedented nature of this surge. It is a novel abuse of the Constitution that we're looking at right now. No one can remember a time when we've seen something like this, when a state can marshal facts to show that our targeting is not based on excessive amounts of undocumented immigrants or anything like that, but we're targeted because of politics, which violates our First Amendment rights. The 10th Amendment, which we are entitled as a state to equal sovereignty, and we have been denied that. The federal government is literally commandeering and coercing the state of Minnesota to bend to its will, which is the prerogative of the people of the state of Minnesota. Let me remind everybody, let me take everybody back to 8th grade civics. The states predate the United States and came into the Union preserving their rights as states. to be the states that the citizens of those states want them to be within a constitutional framework. It is at the fundamental, it is in the DNA of American history.
Maybe we should have just been countries. You know, maybe we should have just said fuck it. Every state's its own country. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Like I'll try anything at this point. I'm willing to see what happens. Like, let's give it a go. It could be fun. It could be wacky. Let's have a good time. Oh man, like because I mean, what are we doing anyways? Like, yeah, fuck it, President Whitmer. Yeah, let's do it. Hey, she's great. Why not? She'd make a great president. Oh, it'd be a fucking disaster. You know, Texas had the right idea. Maybe they were on to something. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we're joining Canada. Fuck it. My state could join Canada. It's possible. Why not? Why not? Anything to get out of this mess.
That the federal government cannot trample over the prerogatives of the state. And that is exactly what is happening here, and that is exactly why we're going to court. This surge has drained local law enforcement time and resources. Jacob Fry, if he were here, could tell you that they've spent north of $2 million on overtime responding to ICE. They've damaged our economy, hurt our education system, and terrorized community members. And it must stop, and tomorrow is a big step in that direction. Now, as I noted a moment ago, people will ask, well, why Minnesota? I'll say this. Minnesota is dealing with targeted oppression from the federal government because of who we are and who we value. Minnesota is a place where we welcome the stranger. We have a number of nonprofits that focus on refugee resettlement in Minnesota. Minnesota is a place where we take care of the vulnerable among us. We're a state that just passed paid family leave. We're a state that believes in feeding our kids who are in school, and we're a state that believes that Minnesota is a great place to live for everyone, no matter where you were born. Of course, we obey all laws, but we still believe that immigration is not a sin. They're coming after our state, in my view, because of what we stand for, because we voted 3 times in favor of somebody not Donald Trump, which he has publicly said he resents deeply and believes is not even true. I can tell you it's not about fraud. Because if he sent people who understand forensic accounting, we'd be having a different conversation. But he's sending armed, masked men. This is a pretext, and it's not supported by the facts at all, which has brought us to court challenging the justification that the president has offered. For those watching around the country, I would submit to you that just as Portland and Chicago and LA were precursors to Minneapolis, Minneapolis is a precursor to a whole lot of other places that they have their eye on right here, right now, including Maine and several other states. If we don't stop this behavior here, it will only expand, and it won't be good for anyone in our country.
He's right about that. He's right about that. And I mean, I hope that the lawsuit and everything that they're doing is helpful, is like does have an effect. I just I worry it won't be fast enough. I worry that things are going to escalate before there is anything that has a real effect on stopping ICE. So I don't know. I am not optimistic, unfortunately, but I hope he's right. But he is definitely right about this being the precursor for other places, and they're testing the waters. They're pushing the limits. They're seeing what they can get away with. They're seeing they what works best, what doesn't work. It's fucking fuck. Like it's hard. It's fucking like I mean it's just this is fascism. This is fascism. It's the fascist regime of Donald Trump. I don't know what else to say. Um yeah, I mean she's
Minnesota's staying strong, and I want to join Governor Walz in my just pride in being a Minnesotan.
okay. I've had enough of this. Um the Pink Coat Lady video was released. I saw it on Tim Miller. Our hearts are with you, Minnesota. Congress, wake the fuck up now. You're responsible for this. Video shows the victim being hit in the head repeatedly with an object, then shot. He goes still, and yet another ICE agent backs away, firing several shots. Disgusting behavior. Condolences to the victim's family. Yeah, it's crazy that people are trying to justify this. I mean,
The lead Border Patrol official, Greg
Bovino over here, fucking jackass. We have a little bit of him, I guess.
Bovino
here.
spoke again today.
He is telling people to stop speculating on what happened during yesterday's shooting.
Now, you know what? I'll hold my opinions. Hold on.
Our Marielle Mose was there. She shows how the Border Patrol's messaging has changed in the last 24 hours, Elle.
Well, Aaron, despite many videos from several different angles being shared publicly, Bovino's main message today was that he will not speculate and does not want anyone else to speculate until an investigation is complete into the shooting death of Alex Preddy. This contradicts his message yesterday when he shared definitively why Border Patrol agents opened fire.
I've not concluded anything. I've not given you a conclusion.
Commander Greg Bovino backing off from any definitive storyline.
Like, that's such bullshit, dude. He is. I hate these fuckers so much, bro. You have been going around saying that he was a fucking terrorist like everybody else. What do you mean? They're saying shit like he's a terrorist, he was there to cause harm, the ICE agents were the victims, blah, 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 blah. You fucking fuck you, bro. Oh, dude, these motherfuckers are the worst. I am going to lose my goddamn fucking mind. Wow. Wow. That's great. No, that's awesome. That's so cool, dude. This is the world we live in. That's sick. I love logic. I love truth, reality, all that lovely shit. And we live in a world where that has all gone out the goddamn window. It doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. They get to just say whatever the fuck they want and it becomes reality, even though it's not the case at all. They get to just get up here and be like, no, it was this. He's a terrorist. He deserved to be killed. You know, he was there to kill ICE agents because he had a gun on him. And that's it. That's the story. Like, fuck you. Like, you're a little man. You're a little baby man. Fuck off. Fuck off, dude. Greg Bovino.
surrounding Alex Preddy's shooting death by Border Patrol agents. Less than 12 hours earlier, he said this.
During this operation, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted. This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
But on Sunday,
I'm not going to.
You know, when I want to do maximum damage to law enforcement agents, I get right up within reaching distance of them with my gun, not drawn. That's exactly what I do. Are you like let's be logical for a moment here. Let's be logical for a moment. What would you do if you were there to do maximum harm to law enforcement agents? Would you A, approach them with your gun holstered and your phone out and then proceed to never reach for your gun? Or would you B, maintain a distance and shoot them with your firearm? Because that is what you do with a fucking firearm. You shoot them from a distance. Like you don't get right up next to them and are like, yeah, I'm fucking here to do maximum damage with my phone and my empty hand. Are you fucking kidding me? It's a joke. It's a joke. It has to be a joke. It has to be a joke. You cannot be serious. You have to be joking. Make it make sense. Like, where's the logic? There is no logic because it's not what was going on. It's not what was happening. If he wanted to do maximum damage, he would have just fucking shot them with the gun that he had on him. Because that is what you do with a gun. You shoot someone from a distance. From however far of a distance, depending on the type of gun, but that's the fucking point of a gun. It's not to get up close and personal with them. It's to keep a distance from the person you are doing harm to. Jesus Christ.
Speculate on who did what, when they did it, how they did it, or what exactly occurred there. I'm going to wait for the investigation to let me know what happened.
when asked if Preddy brandished a gun as he had previously said.
All those minute details that will paint a true picture, not a freeze frame concept, and paint a larger picture of what really happened. That is why we investigate, so we can get to the truth, so there's not speculation.
Bovino says Border Patrol agents involved are still working while this investigation.
Like, it just really sucks that they get to come out of the gate with a narrative. They get to come out of the gate hot and put out whatever narrative they want to put out. And then within 24 hours, they get to backtrack. But the record's already been set. Like, they're not fixing anything. They're not setting the record straight. People are going to go with what they first heard. And many of the people who heard the first lie are not going to hear the correction or the backtracking. They're not going to hear that shit. They're just going to end up going with what they heard first, and that is, oh, he was a violent criminal with a gun that he was brandishing, and he was going to attack them, and he resisted, and all this other shit. And it's just, it's bullshit. Like, you're just, you get to manipulate the fucking narrative because that's how this shit works. It's how the media works. It's how all this fucking bullshit plays out. And there's nothing people get to do about it because no one fact checks anything. No one pushes back against the narrative that you're pushing out. The Democrats don't do it. I mean, they barely put up a resistance. And it's just like, oh, that's sick. That's great. No, that's cool. We'll go with that. We'll just get to set the scene, and everyone plays along. And then the next day you get to come out and be like, actually, it could go in either way. We don't really know what happened. I know I said
Investigation play.
sorry. Sorry about that. Anyway. um yeah, it's just ridiculous and I hate it. It's awesome. No, it's great. That's awesome. You get to just paint the picture. Everyone goes along with it, and at the end of the day, nobody gets to set the record straight. No one gets to put things back to, what actually happened. And then the investigation will happen further down the line, and by that point people will not really be paying attention anymore. And it won't really matter in the end. Of course, there'll be an outcome and it will be whatever, and people will sort of have that moment then, but up until that point and then after that point, it's just kind of like, whatever. And maybe if there's a proper outcome here and a proper sort of investigation and everything ends up coming out where they actually do convict the ICE agents, then in that scenario there is a chance that the sort of narrative flips the other way, but it's more than likely just going to stick with this sort of initial narrative for a lot of people, and that sucks.
Plays out.
All agents that were involved in that scene are working, not in Minneapolis, but in other locations. That's for their safety.
Meanwhile, on the outside of the Whipple building where Bovino
Like, oh god, yeah, that's great. I love that their safety is being taken into consideration here. I know that's great. Not the safety of the people in the fucking places where they're working now. But no, that's great. Their safety is being taken into consideration. Awesome. Sick. How about fuck them? Like, I want every last name of those motherfuckers. Have we got their names yet? Has anyone been... I know people are digging. I know people are looking. They'll find them. I want their fucking names, bro.
was speaking. Demonstrators continue their consistent presence. Their reaction to Bovino's comments?
So I just don't see how anybody can have any trust in the leadership of any facet of this administration.
It's hard that one side is saying one thing and then we're living it. This is our home, and it's sad to see Minnesotans die.
It's still unclear how this investigation will play out and who will be involved. That is still a question we'll continue to press for an answer on.
Okay, we appreciate it, Elle.
All right, you guys, Arizona.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know. It's just something's got to give. Something's got to give, and I don't know where this goes if the local government and the National Guard do not step in and protect the citizens. So, yeah. We have this from Candace. I don't think I'm gonna watch this. I watched a little bit of it earlier. It's not that interesting. Maybe the Turning Point employees purge and exclusive video part. It's a little bit long, but we'll take a look at this a little bit here and see. But I don't think this was very interesting. I can't remember. I was kind of half asleep when I was looking at it before.
Yesterday, I told you how I received a legal letter in part for noting that a bunch of military men seem to have infiltrated Turning Point USA. That was one of the sentences. You said military men infiltrated Turning Point USA. Well, this is a fun tweet that somebody pulled up from Tyler Boyer.
Right. She got like a cease and desist or something. But actually, fuck this. I got something even better. Even better. Even better. Still to do with Candace, but this shit happened. This shit happened. Hold on, let me find it. One second. So I'm not sure if I have it bookmarked or if I have it. Oh, I do have it bookmarked. Awesome. Yeah, so I don't even know where to begin with this. So Dave Rubin, I guess for some reason, decided to. I love this bullshit, bro. It's so fucking like. It's so high school. It's so high school, and it's like reality TV, a little bit, you know, because it is basically that. Like these are kind of characters that these people put on to an extent. None of them are being 100% their genuine self or anything like that. Very few people are obviously online. I mean, I don't even necessarily know if I would say that I myself am. I mean, I'm being my genuine self, but I don't necessarily share everything about myself. But I'm being honest. I'm an honest actor, I promise. But it's just yeah, it's just so fucking high school, dude. So Dave Rubin, I haven't said it publicly before, but it's finally worth mentioning. The last time I saw Candace at my house in 2022, all she talked about for an hour was how much she hated Charlie. I remember it vividly because the other two people she was ranting against that night were Ivanka and Jared, whom we had just met and had dinner with a few days before, and who couldn't have been kinder, more decent people. Yes, that is 100% true, and when she claims this didn't happen or it's a Zionist lie, ask her if she enjoyed the chicken parm. So once again, this shit is just kind of divided along this line of like supporting Israel and not supporting Israel, and then he posted a chicken parm recipe. Um, I guess. And as long as we are doing this, here we are at Peter Thiel's house in LA. Strangely, she never mentioned to me he was a humanoid cyborg. She commented she was in the replies and she was like, also difficult to put into words how sick it is to cut a video of a dead person to create the illusion that he's speaking about one of his friends. You are utterly deranged for this. And she had this big ass post. Because it's Candace, she can be a little wordy at times, let's be real. But she's like, this is completely and utterly made up, lol. Sheer fiction. You guys are so positively desperate to rewrite Charlie's history that we are moving to fantasy. But since the internet is now interested, if it's cool, I'd like to now share the story about why I decided to stop being friends with you after you bizarrely opened up to me about how you hired a young Christian male who used to work on my show at PragerU. It's about to get real homophobic in here, by the way, so I apologize. You told me his parents were overbearing Christians who were concerned about him having to about him moving to Miami to work for a gay couple. Sure enough, the next time we saw you, you told us a story about how you and your husband just knew that he wasn't shy, but that he was more likely secretly gay, and how you were encouraging him to experiment with guys and explore his sex life. You told me and George that you then encouraged him to go on a date and then to have his first kiss with a man. Shortly thereafter, he quit your show and moved from Miami. I was positively sickened by the story because I knew this kid, and yes, he was shy. And the fact that you questioned him about his virginity and dating life and encouraged him to kiss a boy makes you a groomer in my book. Should we get into what you told me about your night in Hawaii with Peter Thiel? Or is the above enough perversion for one morning? Oh boy, oh brother, alright, Candace. Yeah, no, yeah, everyone does play a persona. It's just I try to be as genuine as I can be. Um, but yeah, so that's first of all, this fucking shit. Just the not so subtle homophobia in here from Candace. No, I don't take Twitter that seriously. Trust me. I'm that's why I'm laughing at what Candace has posted here. um, but it's just funny the like subtle like homophobia in here as well as um the continued just like it, it's 100% Candace. It's so Candace. Yeah, there's a lot of rage bait on Twitter for sure. I mean, there's a lot of bots on Twitter too now. But this is completely and utter bullshit and you know it. You are seriously sick. He asked me for a job after he left. Please don't make me drop receipts. You won't survive it. Candace, I want to see the receipts. I want to see the receipts. The one time Candace doesn't want to drop receipts. Come on, Candace. It's time, Candace. You can do it. You want to drop the receipts so bad, Candace. Just drop them. Just drop them. Everything you said there is a lie other than you know a person who worked for me. Everyone can see through you. I mean, look. Candace is someone who is not afraid to drop receipts if she has them. So, if she's not dropping receipts right now, I do kind of wonder if she has them. This does kind of draw into question a little bit. I don't know, Candace. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with this, but yeah, that's what Candace has been getting into on Twitter. I think it's kind of incredible. She's got so much going on in her life. She has 4 fucking kids and she still finds time to do this stuff. I mean, I think that's an interesting way to look at homophobia for sure. I mean, I think it's I mean, I don't think it really matters too much where it comes from. It kind of it ultimately manifests in a sort of dislike of gay people, which I think is pretty unnecessary, you know? Not needed. One might even say wrong. But you know, you're entitled to your opinion, I suppose, but and then they're still going after Erica Kirk too, which is very funny. But also, the implication of this night with Peter Thiel in Hawaii. Curious? Curious? What we got going on here, brother? I'm nosy. Candace, drop the receipts. That's my hot take. Candace should drop the receipts. All right, let's see what she got for us.
The former COO. He wrote this September 25th, 2018. He wrote, "We do have a team. We can only do as much as police on campus will allow, and also working with police or private security in a given venue. We run everything like a military op. All of our people are from that background." Oh, so I told the truth. Okay, great. Just wanted to make sure. Just wanted to, or maybe get a lawyer to send Tyler Boyer a letter. Anyway, guys, got to get into this firing thing. I have a lot now, and I got to organize it over the weekend and things to give to you guys. And it's good because we're about to have a snowstorm and I can kind of plug in. So I still don't understand what caused it. I can't get to the root of what happened. But what I can tell you is that one person got brought into an office by Andrew Colvett and was told that the CMO got into an Uber car and asked, just striking up some conversation.
I'm so distracted by this jacket of hers, I can't lie to you. Her clothes are so interesting to me. Like, I don't know if I could ever, like, accurately describe Candace's style, because it's very plain, but, like, I don't know, it's like a conservative, but with a touch of, like, I don't know, I don't know how to describe it. It's not like completely conservative. It's like, sometimes she'll kind of, she'll kind of experiment a little bit, a little bit of stepping outside the box. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm sorry. She doesn't seem to have much to say here today. I'm not very, I'm not sure how interesting she is. Yeah, we can skip this one. What do I have next? Oh, I've got this Brett Cooper video on Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, and Clavicular. Mostly I want to see.
I feel like
how did this video do compared to her other videos? Just curiosity's sake. Pretty better. The Taylor Swift video here seems to be doing. I don't know why it's saying I watched this. I did not watch this. Taylor Swift video looks to be doing pretty good given the time. I'm curious. I'm just. Okay. Interesting. All right. Disturbing truth about what's happening on X. What is this video about? Because
let's dive in.
Is it about like what is actually? Yeah. Oh, it is. Wait, she did a video about the about Grok making explicit images of women. Oh, I'm so curious to hear what she says. I'm sorry, we gotta watch this. Because, like, how is she gonna, like, attack this from a right-wing perspective? You know what I mean? Because the right still kind of fucks with Elon. And AI and shit. So, like, and Twitter especially. So, like, I'm curious. I am curious, like, what she's gonna say about this.
Into some man-made horrors beyond my own comprehension.
Like, is she just gonna be honest about it? Is she just gonna be honest for once? Is the fact that she's a woman gonna, like, override the bullshit that this programmed her to to lean to the right and say kind of like say some fuck shit when things like this happen, because I am curious. But I mean, I think this is just kind of a hard thing to defend, right? Like, it's hard to defend making literal like AI CSAM of children, which is what Grok was doing. So, well, yeah, I want to see her. I want to let her cook. Let's let her cook.
Is that what it is? That's what we're gonna talk about today. All right. So XAI's tool, Grok, that we all know, that we see on X every single day, is making explicit images of women and children without their knowledge or consent. And literally, as you are watching this, somebody on X could be taking a photo of you or your children that you posted on social media and could be making, through Grok, deep fake graphic material of you. Does that feel like an invasion of privacy? Does that make you uncomfortable? Well, it should. And if the mother of Elon Musk's child can't even get deep fake photos of herself removed from the platform, then I don't think anybody is safe. So as you guys might remember, back in July of last year, Grok rolled out a new spicy mode in its image generation that allowed nudity and sex.
This is actually okay. I'm actually gonna look at the comments on this because after we watch a little bit more of this, because my theory about Brett Cooper is that her audience consists of perhaps young men. Like, I don't think she's attracting young women. I think it's mostly young men. And I feel like a lot of the young men she possibly attracts might not be so critical of Grok. I could be wrong, but I'm curious to see how the comments are reacting to this, and maybe I can get a better gauge on her analytics, I suppose. Because I am just curious. I'm very curious about who watches Brett Cooper. Because my theory is like young men, or just like men in general, because she's a young woman, and unfortunately I could see a lot of older men watching her for that reason alone. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not a Brett Cooper historian by any means.
Actual imagery, and safeguards were intended. They said that they were going to have some kind of safeguards for this, but early users quickly found out that they were able to bypass many of them, and there were articles upon articles written about this. I raised the alarms on this show. Many creators across all platforms were talking about this, and quite frankly, we were all ignored. Like, nothing really was done. And then soon after that, they rolled out anime companions that we also talked about, named Ani and Valentine, these characters who were inspired by characters in 50 Shades of Grey and Twilight and
God, wait, Brett Cooper scooped me. I didn't even know this was a thing. What the fuck? And I'm pretty on top of the happenings in the AI disaster world. Like, as unfortunate as it is, I try to stay up to date on what's going on with Grok and all this shit, but I missed this one. What the fuck? She got me on this one. Props to her. What the fuck is this shit? I completely missed this. Whoa.
once again, creators across the internet raised alarms about the harm that this would do to people, the increasing harm in the age of excessive porn usage, and nothing happened. Even as people raised the alarm about what this would do to children.
Oh, is she gonna take it from an anti-porn angle? That makes sense. I still don't think that's gonna go over well with her audience, though. I could be wrong. But that definitely makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I think I might have to like end the stream after this video because I'm kind of getting a headache. But let's see what she got. Let's see what she got. I wanted to go for longer tonight, but I'm not feeling. I was not feeling super up to streaming to begin with, but I do have a bit of a headache right now. So we'll get through this, but I might have to end it after this.
who came across that content. But I don't think any of us really predicted how disturbing this would get so fast. Because if that wasn't already bad enough, Grok and its spicy mode and its image generation is now being used out in the open to remove clothing off of women and children. And so we have to ask, who should hold the blame? Is it Elon and XAI and Grok, or is it the people making the request online? Now, before we dive into that, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. And if you want a notification every single time we release a new episode, make sure to ring that bell. And for behind the scenes content and fun farm vlogs and all of those sorts of things, head on over to cooperconfidential.com and join the fun. All right, now diving right into this, as I have said before, all AI platforms have dealt with these kinds of issues, like the sexual content. It is not just Grok. But what makes Grok and XAI, which is the parent AI or parent company of Grok, what makes them different is that this AI has prided itself on having.
Also, if you haven't done so, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. I remembered to do that. I remembered to say the words. Yeah, I mean, so far I don't have any like disagreements with her. I imagine I won't have many disagreements with her throughout this, but I'm just not like anti-porn like I think she probably is. Or at least I don't necessarily have such an extreme opinion on that, or such a conservative opinion on that as she does, I assume. But yeah. But other than that, I think we both agree that Grok should not be making the images that it was making. It I think that they did finally put a fucking stop to that. I don't know if I think this video was probably made before that. But I was just curious to see like what she had to say about it, and like how she approached this topic.
Looser restrictions from the beginning. It was also one of the first AI companies to roll out this sexually explicit content, whereas OpenAI and Sam Altman were kind of the last to do that and spent years prior to rolling it out saying, we're not going to do that. We're not going to stoop to that level. Newsflash.
My theory on Sam Altman rolling out more shit recently, like he also was talking about stripping back restrictions on the on like explicit content and stuff like that, on like explicit conversations with OpenAI and ChatGPT and stuff like that. And my theory is that like things have not been like their financials don't look so great from what I have been hearing and seeing. And my theory is that he's trying to perhaps rectify that by taking the restraints off of ChatGPT, and I think that is only going to lead to more people possibly killing themselves or others, which has already occurred multiple times. ChatGPT has assisted in the the killing of people and the sort of taking of their own lives. So yeah, awesome. No, it's great. This is exactly what I thought the future would look like. Yep.
They did. Spoiler alert, they did. They all do. They all end up loosening restrictions and allowing users to engage with AI in that way. But moving on from that, this deepfake imagery, everything that is happening now in the public space, it reminded me of a scandal that you guys might remember that happened on Twitch a few years ago. It's crazy that this is now almost 3 years ago. But the story is that Atrioc, who is a popular Twitch streamer, was on a live stream and he accidentally showed a specific tab that was open on his computer, which
It's crazy that she's bringing this up. Wait a minute. I mean, I know the incident she is talking about. I'm sure many people do. I mean, she's gonna explain it, but yeah.
Showed that he was buying AI-generated pornographic content of other Twitch streamers, including of one of his close friends. And that friend of his was streamer QT Cinderella. And they were not just random acquaintances.
Which I don't necessarily know all of the details. I don't know how close they were. I don't know all that shit. I think he was friends with Ludwig, for sure, but I don't know for sure about him and Cutie and everything. But yeah, that was a big thing. Cutie responded to that, and it's just a whole fucking insane. Like it's just like I just don't understand. Like I don't know. I just don't understand how that happens. Like how you do that, how you get there, how you end up in that situation. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that I think that they have since, I don't know if they've worked things out or whatever, but he has apologized from what I understand. I don't know if if I would have it in me to let that shit go, to be honest with you, or to just like there are some things I simply do not forget, my friend.
QT Cinderella's boyfriend was best friends with Atrioc. She literally baked Atrioc's wedding cake. That is how close they were. And he was on this site buying AI-generated deepfake pornographic content that included images.
I also don't know like what the like I listen, I have not looked into this situation more than what I know about it, which is very surface level, and that is he got caught looking at AI porn of these people. I don't know like where it came from, if he himself bought it. Like she's saying he bought it, he very well may have. I just don't know. I don't want to like sit here and be like that is factual information because I don't know. If he did, that's even crazier. Like if he did, I didn't know that part of it. I just thought he got caught looking at it. But like if he actually like got that shit himself and like paid for it, that's even crazier. But I don't know. I just want to make that clear that I am not sure if that's the case. But either way, crazy situation to be in. Don't know how you end up there.
And videos of her. Now, after all of this came out, as people saw it on his live stream, she went live, and this is what she said.
Atrioc for showing it to thousands of people. The people DMing me pictures of myself from that website. You all, if you are able to look at that, you are the problem. You see women as an object. It should not be part of my job to be harassed, to see pictures of me nude spread around. It should not be something that is found on the internet. It shouldn't be. That shouldn't be a part of my job. And the person that made that website, I'm going to sue you. I promise you. With every part of my soul, I'm going to sue you.
And I remember watching this back in 2023 and being so utterly disgusted and horrified. Like, how could this actually be a real thing? Like, as somebody on the internet, how can this be something that I'm concerned with? Just as a normal individual who's posting photos publicly on Instagram or on X, on Facebook, that this is something that now, because of our technology.
I do gotta be honest though, this is a big reason I don't show my face online or post my images. And haven't for quite some time. Like even my own even like my personal Instagram, which is private, I don't have many pictures of myself up there. But on my public pages and stuff like that, I really don't have very many images up. I'm not a big picture taker person in general, and then I'm not a big picture posting person in general, so and I have the incentive to not post pictures now due to the circumstances, so I don't. And I'm glad I don't, because this shit is terrifying. And it is the natural sort of evolution of AI, generative AI, under a patriarchy, under a misogynistic system. Like, this is just where it was always headed, but it is just disgusting and frustrating, because the more vulnerable among us are going to be targeted by it, like children especially, because you can just make CSAM with it, which is actually dystopian. God fucking damn it.
Can be done to us. And so that took place back in 2023. So fast forward now, we are
Like, Brett Cooper, give me like 2 weeks with her. I could make like a hardcore feminist out of her. I think I could fix her. Give me like 2 weeks. Non-stop control of all of like the sources she reads. Like I can't let her have any of like Fox News or any of like whatever bullshit she's normally looking into. Yeah, you gotta give me control of that shit for a couple weeks, but I think I could fix her. I do. I think there's hope here. I think there's a little bit of, there's a chance here.
in 2026, and I look at that story and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I only knew what I know now, like how quickly things change. Like if I saw that story now, I would go, yeah, another notch on the belt. Hey, I mean, this happens every single day in the age of AI. And so my point in bringing up that story again is to say that in less than 3 years,
I do think she's good at reading the room too, because I think she's seeing the AI downfall before a lot of other people on the right are kind of seeing the end times are near. Like they're still embracing it. They're still taking like ads and shit for companies that are like AI, like whatever bullshit. And I don't know. I do think that in some ways she does maybe have a grasp on where the public opinion is shifting. But I also do just think she's probably disgusted with Grok and the way that it was doing this shit, because I don't see how you can be a woman and not be like even for people who try and sort of act like they don't care about this shit. I think that you see this shit, and even like not even like a woman, but just like a decent human being. Like you don't even have to be a woman, honestly, to see this shit and be like, yeah, that's fucked up. Like I think that it honestly just takes being a human being with eyes and a modicum of like moral like consideration here to be like, yeah, that's fucked up. Like I think this is a uniting factor for many people, that we can all sort of agree that this is pretty fucked up and dystopian, that you can just have an AI that generates pictures of you without your clothes on. Like, I need to remind you, and maybe if you were also in school at this time, you'll kind of, get what I mean here. But I grew up in an age that was like, the schools were still playing catch up when it came to like people being online and like the students being online. Like they hadn't quite gotten to the point where they understood the internet yet, right? Like, I mean, I feel like schools are always a little bit behind in that regard. And they hadn't really like gotten like, so eventually they start doing like seminars or whatever about like safety online and that kind of thing. And I grew up in a time where you had like, God, I totally lost my train of thought. But it's interesting, I guess. Because yeah, I totally lost my train of thought. That's crazy. Do you ever just have like a thought and it's just gone? I talked too long. It took me too long. I took too long to get to my point and I lost it. That's fine. It probably wasn't important anyways. But yeah, I just crazy. It's fucking crazy. I don't think you need to be you just need to be like a person with fucking eyes to see that this shit is ridiculous and should not be allowed. And I just it's like I don't know. Let's just keep going.
Something that you had to pay for, something that people could only do behind closed doors, something so shameful that Atrioc had to publicly apologize time and time again, basically lost his career over, has now become so normalized and mainstream that you can now do a version of it in the comment section of one of the world's largest social media platforms. And it is
Yeah, that's the other thing. I pointed this out in the video I made about this, but just it makes it so like easily accessible to just the average person who can just type a prompt and make it happen now. And it's just like, at least before, if you wanted to do, oh, I know what I was gonna. The thought came back to me. I'll get to it in a second. But at least before, if you wanted to do this shit, you had to like go online and maybe learn how to use fucking Photoshop and shit like that to actually make something that looked somewhat like what you were trying to make. But you couldn't just generate that shit at the flip of a thumb. And what I was trying to say was, I grew up in a time where they were really playing catch up when it came to students being online, and that included students sort of sending pictures of themselves, right? And that kind of thing. And so in that time, it's just like you have like going from that period to now where people can just generate an image of you online without your clothes on is insane. Because there was a time where I was in school and they were hammering how much trouble you could get into for just sending a picture of yourself because you know, it's distributing child pornography. It's considered distributing child pornography if you're a teenager and you send a picture of yourself. And then so it's like for Grok to just be able to generate pictures of children like that, it's such a fucking like crazy whiplash almost. I can't even describe it. It's so weird to have gone from that period as like a teenager to where we are now, and it's just like, oh okay, that's something. Like that's fucking insane. Oh man. So I mean, I imagine a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people have a sort of similar memory of just having that kind of thing drilled into them and seeing where they are now, and it's just like all it takes is a flip of a button. Just type it in the prompt and Grok will do it for you. All right.
happening fast. According to Rolling Stone, Grok is generating about one non-consensual sexualized image per minute. So now to give you a bit more context, all of this is thanks to Grok's new AI tool that was rolled out in December. And this new tool is where users can comment under any photo that is posted on X and say, hey Grok, change something about this photo. And I think that things like add sunglasses to this, or add a funny meme image, or remove people from the background, I think that that was the intention in rolling out this feature. But now, less than a month later, the requests are very different. They are sinister, I would say. These are just a few examples of the things that are going around. Grok, make her in a micro-transparent bikini, face untouched realistic, and Ultra 8K. Grok put her in a micro bikini made
See, she did the thing that I didn't do in my video, which was include what the actual fucking things they were saying was. Because I didn't want to, like, help spread that shit. But, like, I mean, since we're fucking here now, yeah, this was the kind of shit that they were saying that was working. Was like put her in like a bikini made of dental floss or something like that, and it's like, it's just like, what the fuck? like it took too long for them to fucking get rid of this shit and clamp down on this shit. But I mean, it's Elon Musk. He doesn't give a fuck. Like he he's catering to the more incel audience, the more like the exact kind of guys who are engaging with this kind of shit, who use Grok for this kind of thing. Like, Elon loves it when people use Grok. Like, it makes him so fucking happy, bro. Like, he loves that shit. So he was probably like losing his fucking mind when everyone was using Grok for he probably saw the fucking like mentions of Grok like go up, and he was like, fuck it, no, I love it. Like, I don't give a fuck what they're doing. They're using my goddamn stupid AI. Like, I'm telling you, that's all this man cares about.
From dental floss, Grok put her in a G-string and make her bend over. Hey Grok, put her in a thong and change nothing else. This one is just insane.
Oh yeah, no, this was a whole thing. This was a whole fucking thing. What is this one? Put a bikini and put a massive sausage in her mouth? Yeah. Yep.
Grok, cover her with white donut glaze and put her in a bikini with a massive sausage in her mouth. Another one said, Grok, put her in a tiny black bikini. Grok, give her a thin transparent bikini and make her bend over with ass facing the camera.
And then there were like accounts there were people like making accounts and then coming on and posting pictures of like women being like, put me in a bikini or whatever, pretending to be the woman that they were like posting the picture of. It was a whole fucking disaster, and it went on for days. Like, if not longer than a week. I don't know exactly how long it was, but it was a significant amount of time before they actually put any sort of stop to it.
Camera. Edit this image to reduce the amount of fabric and replace it with underwear. Grok, show her covered in donut glaze and wearing a towel. Grok, replace her clothes with clear plastic wrap. Grok, put her in a string bikini and show P. Diddy covering her in baby oil. I don't know if you guys have a headache from hearing all of that, but I certainly do. Like, my brain is spinning. Like, these requests are insane, and they are everywhere. And some people might see them as ha ha ha, a funny joke, we're taking it too far, the donut glaze, the sausage, whatever it might be, ha ha ha. But the thing is, Grok obliges 99% of the time. And the people who posted those images did not consent to that happening. I'm reading these requests and I'm like, oh my God, like, our only hope for humanity at this point is just to log off, touch grass, and hope the GCU saves the next generation. GCU is Grand Canyon University, which is
The ad. You love to see it. What is this even for? Grand Canyon University? Oh my God. Oh my God. That's awesome, Brett. That's so awesome.
In addition to federal grants and aid, GCU's on-campus students received approximately 196 Good Ranchers American meat delivered. Now back to the story and what is happening on X. You know, some people might say, well, explicit content like this exists all over the internet. It's on all of our social media platforms. You know, Meta is putting it in our algorithms. There's only
Come on, I want to hear what her real take is. Like, what's her real take on this shit? Is it gonna be anti-porn? I think it's gonna be anti-porn. I think that's the angle she's gonna go with.
OnlyFans, there's Pornhub, all of it. Like, what makes this different? Well, the difference is very clear to me. Like, if you think that regulated porn and OnlyFans and adult content filmed under strict conditions is problematic, like Grok and what we're seeing in these comment sections,
I'm a little surprised she didn't go the anti-porn angle. I really thought she was gonna be anti-porn.
is exponentially worse. Because here's the thing, those platforms like OnlyFans and Pornhub, they have to follow laws as best they can. For
Brett Cooper fascinates me. I'm not gonna lie to you. What are the comments saying? What are the comments saying? The mother of Elon Musk's child. Which one? This is why I don't post my kids. I sometimes think the social media... Okay, I'm gonna look at some of these names too. So Alice Noel. That's probably a woman, right? Like, that's probably a woman. I think I'm lying about having them, LOL. I support this person and not posting their kids. I am a big don't post your kids online person, especially nowadays. Even before AI and stuff, I was a big don't post your kids online. Because pedophiles are watching your kids when you post them online. Point blank period. There's just no way around that. If you post your kids online and you gain any sort of like following or any sort of traction, pedophiles are watching your kids. Like that is happened. That is something you are either choosing to live with, which I think is kind of insane, because when I say pedophiles are watching your kids, I think you can fill in the blank with what they're doing while watching your kids. And I would hope that would make any person want to not post their kids online, but that's just me. Yeah. Yeah, so and wait, did she get an expert from the porn industry to talk? Wait, did she? Did she? Wait, no way she didn't.
Atriarch. Just listen.
For anybody who's all up in my
I don't
That
think
same
she did.
situation with
I
Atriarch
don't think she
line because I am not consenting to this. And Cherie's comment reminded
But she is just, I think she's hitting the usual points, which are, you didn't consent to this. Oh, wait.
see
Someone replied to me and asked
No,
from happening because of the technology.
I don't think she doesn't look like she had anybody on or anything. I don't know. No. They baited me. She does talk about
Jailed. Anyone using an image unconsensually to create pornography should be jailed. It is like a digital assault, digital revenge porn, digital rape. And I completely agree with that. And I want
yeah. I mean, yeah. Literally yeah. I mean, I made a video on this very similar to Brett's here. I was curious to see if she would take like a harder conservative angle on it, but it doesn't look like it. I think she just played it safe. Because she does definitely take the conservative angle usually. But no, she's been pretty sane here, like even across the board, like even with this one.
with your family, that is not consent to then have your photos be used and be turned into sexual or pornographic imagery. But the thing is, even though you are not consenting to that, there really isn't anything stopping that from happening because of the technology that exists. So
yeah, that's crazy. She kind of got it. She got this one. I'll give her that one. I'll give her props where props are due. I do think that she probably should have I personally made a bit of a harder made a bit of a harder stance on don't upload your kids. Be careful about uploading your own images and that kind of thing, but I think that's just more my style than Brett's. I think Brett Cooper is interesting. I still can't figure out who the fuck watches her videos. I guess there's some women watching her videos. Laura Fuller, AI requires the same as what John Adams said about our Constitution. Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious oh God. The video makes me want to delete all my socials and remove every photo of me from the internet. I wouldn't stop you. It should be treated as cybersexual exploitation and charged as such. Anyone who reposts or creates. Is anyone surprised that this is where this went? No, because like I said, this is the natural evolution of generative AI under a patriarchal, misogynistic society. Like, not to hit you with all the buzzwords at once, but this is just the natural development of generative AI under our patriarchal, misogynistic society. That is the truth. Like, this is where this goes. Like, that is just I don't know what else to tell you. Like, yes, no, this is not surprising at all. This is exactly where this was always going to go, and one should not be surprised in any way, shape, or form. One should see this and go, yeah, This is where I expected this to end up, unfortunately. It sucks. It's definitely sucks because most inventions will eventually be used for some sort of harm against the more vulnerable members of our society. There are very few things that don't end up having that dynamic, unfortunately. Whether it be the production of it, or it requires the exploitation of more vulnerable members of our society, or the use of it requires the sort of exploitation of people, the more vulnerable members of our society, or affects them negatively as opposed to people who are more well off. So, yeah. Interesting. All by design, in my opinion. Create chaos to then offer solutions to control every single detail in our lives. That's funny. Been on a 6-week social media blackout. Best thing I've ever done. Okay, well, YouTube is also kind of social media, but I guess not really. I mean, you're in the comments section of YouTube, which is like the most social media aspect of YouTube, but you know, I'm being picky. I'll leave you alone. Another person who doesn't share images of their children online, good on them. Grok is doing the good Lord's work to remind people they do not have online privacy, and also the danger of supporting AI development in public spaces. Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Oh no, Brett, don't go reading your tag post on X for a while. Is there anyone who actually wants AI besides the billionaires, I mean? I never see anyone talking about being excited about it, just utter dread and horror about the future that's being forced on us. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. No more photos online. Yeah. This was definitely an interesting one. I expected it to be a little bit more like this one, because this video, she has some interesting things to say about Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, and Clavicular.
Acting to things on the internet, which I have done for 4 years straight at this point, it used to be more fun. It used to be free and freewheeling, and now every day when I sit behind this microphone, I'm constantly worried about offending people on my own side, on my own political side, not saying the right thing. I'm just over it. Can things not...
Soy right. That she said the right is soy. She said, y'all are snowflakes. Y'all too sensitive for me. It's exactly what you fuckers deserve, honestly. Like, you deserve this at this point. I'm sorry. You created this. You all created this environment, and now you get to live in it and relish the world you have created. So fucking be it. God damn. And I imagine when she says this, she probably means offending people who are pro-Israel. If I had to put money on it, I would say probably offending people who are pro-Israel, because they tend to be the ones who take that shit the hardest and are the most reactive about it, you know? So that would be my guess.
just be funny anymore? Can we not just touch some grass and laugh at things without it being the end of the world? Can I not just be entertained by things that go on the internet? Because what happened in Miami this weekend with all of the Manosphere streamers, that was my reality TV. All right, now you might be able to...
Like, that's sad. Like, that's sad, dude. If that was your reality TV, like, just go watch Big Brother, bro. Go watch The Traitors. Like, there's plenty of reality TV out there that is much better than whatever the fuck went down in Miami. God damn, that's crazy, Brett. You can do better. Come on. Again, give me like 2 weeks. Give me like 2 weeks controlling the media she consumes. We would have a changed woman on our hands.
To tell by the sound of my voice, but we had the plague this week. Very few things brought me more genuine wheezing laughter than this collection of streamers taking Nick Fuentes to a club in Miami. And do not worry, everyone is already busy condemning it. Now, before we get into what happened and all of the responses, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you are not already. And of course, if you want to stay up to date on all of the things we are doing on the channel and every new episode, make sure to ring that notification bell. This whole streaming endeavor weekend, guys weekend. It was like a glorified bachelor party, but for the manosphere of streamers. And it all took place on Clavicular's stream on Kick. If you don't know who Clav is, Clavicular, I have a video about him. Batshit crazy, like crazy story. If you don't know who he is, you can go watch that. Clavicular somehow assembled the event.
Somehow calling him Clav just feels like weird. Like it just feels too personal. like ooh, like I don't like that. Don't do that. Don't do that again. Clav. Oh.
Of the manosphere. He got the Tate brothers, he got Fresh and Fit, he got Sneeko, he got Nick Fuentes, and a gaggle of women that you would expect to see on the Whatever podcast. He got them all together in Miami. And if that sounds like a fever dream to you, it basically is. Imagine me having a fever, watching all of this transpire. I thought I was hallucinating. They started this whole night, this like guys weekend, Saturday night at a pregame at this mansion that I think was provided by one of Andrew Tate's friends. This was all of them walking in the door. Like this whole thing was being filmed. The boys walking in. You see the cameras back there. They're on the water. Oh, there's the ladies lined up by the water, just ready for these streamers to walk in and greet them. And that clip was posted and somebody said, this looks like a scene out of a mafia movie. And then somebody else reposted that and said, the gay father, which was very funny. I have to admit, I laughed a lot. One of the comments said, I can never.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You laughed at that? I don't know if she gets the joke. Like, I think she gets it, but I don't think she gets it, you know? Maybe I'm too hard on Brett Cooper. I don't know. Sometimes she says some things, though, man, and I'm like, I don't know about that one, Brett.
Forget the famous line from that movie, you come to me on the day of my alpha male child's Hitler clubbing night. I literally, when I read that this morning, I laughed.
She's hard to peg down, you know? She's hard to pinpoint because what the fuck?
So hard that snot came out of my nose. That's about where we're at right now. The whole first part of this streaming weekend at this pregame, it was like Clavicular, like being the new kid on the block, the new manosphere protege trying to prove himself to everyone, meeting his manosphere sages. There's this moment where he tries to sound cool. He's like rizzing up, flirting with this girl, and he literally straight up just tells her that he does meth. Just watch.
Like, why are we all acknowledging that, like, Clavicular is just kind of awkward and like weird, and yet people are just pretending like he's cool, but like not. Like I don't get it. Do I not get the joke? Is it me? Maybe it's me. Like I'm trying to get it. Like I've watched some clips of him, you know, like I get the appeal. Like I do think he's like a funny character. But, like, he's a funny character because he's, like, weird and awkward. And yet people are kind of acting like he's cool. Like, there's, like, this weird, like, is he cool because he's weird and awkward? Like, is that it? Like, what is it? Like, what is the like? I don't get it. I don't quite get it.
When I get drunk, I get retarded. So,
Aren't you about to go to the club?
yeah, but I usually don't drink.
Oh, what do you do?
Meth,
Oh, straight to the point.
you know? You guys ever do meth?
Like, sir, you're not beating those allegations.
No, clavicular. Normal people do not.
Like, wait, what? Like, why? Like, this is like everyone's reaction to clavicular. It's like, sir, what the fuck? And it's like no one is having a reaction that's like, oh, this man's so cool, except for like, I guess the other looks maxers. Is there like there's like an irony here that I'm not getting? I'm trying so hard to understand. Like, this is my field of study, you know? Internet bullshit is my field of study. I am passionate about it. I love digging into the weeds of these internet figures and trying to understand why people love them and why people fuck with them. And that's honestly why we're watching Brett Cooper's videos here, because she still confuses me. She's a wild figure in this ecosystem that I have not managed to peg down yet. Clavicular is another one. Except clavicular I've managed to peg down. It's everyone's reaction to clavicular that I still have not managed to understand.
Not do meth. All of the other older guys, they're giving him advice like how to date or not date women.
Saying, I don't date. I don't take bitches to dinner.
I never.
Ever. Ever.
Yeah, bitch.
I don't know if there's like a thought going through his head. It's like, I don't take bitches to dinner. And he's like, oh, yeah, definitely not. What? What is going on?
The only dinner a woman will ever go to with me is when I'm meeting other men, but like a one-on-one dinner with a girl is a mistake and a waste of fucking time and money.
3 hours of fucking garbage.
How are these not two over-the-top caricatures that you see in like a weird comedy movie? These are not the lead characters. These are the odd supporting characters.
Like, she knows they hate women, right? Like she knows that they don't like her, right? Because like I'm not even someone who's like, I can't enjoy like a controversial figure, you know, like I'll watch Jesse Lee Peterson clips, for example. That man says some crazy fucking shit, but I think he's hilarious. I think he's fucking hilarious. I don't agree with them at all. I just think he's very fucking funny and I enjoy the entertainment. So I understand watching a character like Clavicular for fun. But I also feel like there's a level of like, there's a level here of irony. And I don't know. It just feels like, the vibes feel weird whenever Clavicular comes up, and I don't quite get it.
That are written so over the top to just like elevate the rest of the comedy. That is this scene right now. This is what we're watching. There's another moment where the same guy and Tristan Tate were telling Clavicular to not get invested in hoes, which you think, okay, maybe that's some good advice, you know, don't get invested in hoes. But then they also say this.
I DM them, think they ain't gonna come with me? Those side chicks aren't yours. Oh, those are hoes. They don't belong to you. Don't put a flag on them. Don't claim them. They're for the streets. Yeah. So I still fuck them. Yeah, of course.
Classy. Love that for sure. Now, by the way, the guy in that video with Tristan Tate, his name is Justin Waller. On comment section, I once made fun of him for his suits and his pants being way too tight, which I stand by that. They are far too tight, Justin. I will always say that. But I'm pretty sure that I ran into him after the fact and he was very nice and considerate. I think that he did Michael Knowles' show or something and Michael was like, Brett, you gotta come see Justin. And I was like, oh.
Like, she's out here talking about how considerate this guy is, and he's out here being just a misogynistic piece of shit. Like, I'm sorry, you're not gonna catch me pulling up praising the guy, even if I met him in person and he was nice to me, okay? he's still kind of shit. Like he's still spewing some very shitty things and opinions of women, and that's not cool. Like she knows that they hate her, right?
Oh my God, I literally was just crapping on this man for how tight his suits are. They are far too.
Keep crapping on him. Did you not just hear what he said? Bitch, who cares? He deserves worse, probably.
Tight. Anyway, the whole stream to me was just more evidence that Clavicular, as this new social media figure and young man, that he really has no ideas or core values. He is just there mogging. Like, the only thing that this man thinks about is looks maxing. Like, his brain.
That I do think is true. I do think that he does not have much going on up here, and he is in fact just there to mog. I guess it's a mog or be mogged world. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it there. I don't know what else I know that she kind of just like, I think she kind of talks like, says these guys are basically kind of cool, from what I understand. Implies that they're not losers, which they are. I do meth, you ladies ever do meth? What a pickup line. This is so weird. LOL, they all seem bored. Didn't know Brett Cooper was so tapped in. Brett Cooperus Maximus, can I not be entertained? Mogging, mewing, whatever he's doing. Nah, that Avengers photo killed me. I don't insult people, I just describe them. Nick was in that club thinking of what else he was going to post to catch Candace's attention. I never thought Nick would be the wholesome one in the group. Wild. This reminds me of when I was a kid and my parents would have a party and I would try and say something clever to some adults. The Real House Husbands of Miami. I feel like I'm back in high school watching the freshmen trying to get the seniors' approval. STDs floating in the air. Brett, you are hilarious. LOL. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting really stupid. I think I gotta call it. My headache is starting to get to me. Thank you for watching. If you haven't given this video or given the stream a like, I would appreciate that. So if that's God, I can't even speak anymore. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and yeah, that's really all I have for you. I've got check out my most recent video because it hasn't really gotten a lot of attention, and I'd appreciate it if you checked it out and gave it a like. It's also kind of not a cheerful video or anything like that, so be ready for sad things. But check that out. And I am working on some other stuff, and got that out soon at some point. We'll see. I probably won't stream too much this week because I am going to be working on a lot of stuff, so yeah, but if I don't get to stream this week, I will see you all next Sunday. Actually, probably Friday, because I do want to stream Fridays now too. So Friday and Sunday are the 2 days that I am attempting to stream for sure. Other days as I feel up to it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if I have time. We'll see whatever goes on this week. But aside from that, I will catch you all later. And yeah, that's really it. So thank you again for watching. Please take care of yourself, and I will see you all later, and goodbye.